Greeting, traveler.
Welcome everybody to part 2 of Born to Be Wild's set review for Scholomance Academy. It has been already we're about almost 3 hours into it, and we've covered like 3 classes. So
25% of the way done.
So we are trying to break this up to you in more like bite-sized pieces. So without further ado, we are up on the Mage class that will be presented by Electric Sheep City. So I will let you take it away, my friend.
Yeah, so leading in with the Mage class, we've got Lab Partner. Lab Partner is a 1-mana 1/3 with spell damage +1. Tempo Mage is not really a thing in Wild, so I don't see any of the spell damage stuff enabling that. 1-mana 1/3 is good. No archetype for it. Got to go with the 1. What do you think, Mike?
Lab partner, we're talking odd mage. I've played 3 games of odd mage, so I have 0 experience. I'll give this card. All right, I'll give it a 2. No reason behind it. I'll just give it a 2.
All right. I give it a 2 also, and I'll tell you my reasons. So I think the stats are really good for 1 mana. So 1 mana 1/3 is good. I'm really not sure where it goes besides Odd Mage. That being said, like the only person I really know, Reno Jackson, has done a pretty decent take on Odd Mage in the past. I mean, I still think it's a tier 3 deck. It's really fun when it works. It doesn't usually work. I do not think that, like, so there's this new archetype of like spell damage mage that I think that they're trying to push in standard. We see some kind of combo stuff with the dual class cards. I don't think that archetype is really all that strong in Wild, but maybe you do some kind of like freeze mage, burn mage type of thing. I think the strongest potential for this is odd. And so I give it a 2 because I think that it will see some fringe play. That's what I got. Danny?
All right, I'm going to mirror what Sheep said. I don't know. I don't foresee this slotting into any tempo style mage deck because that deck is just overshadowed immensely by Cyclone Mage. Any type of spell damage type stuff, I'd rather just kill your opponent by taking an extra turn. And I mean, we've slotted it into what that former Tempo Mage slot is, using Flame Wakers and all that stuff in a much better shell. So I'm going to give this 1 star.
Okay.
All right.
That brings us to Firebrand.
Hold on.
Oh,
Yeah.
wait.
Oh,
Yeah, sorry, I didn't go yet.
Oh, my bad.
But no, it's all good, Sheep. I have similar thoughts, but I do feel that if Odd Mage does become a thing, this can be something. Currently, this is not playable in my mind. I don't think that we're going to play it anytime soon. I don't think it goes as completely unplayable, so we're going to go with 2. I'm going to give this maybe playable because I do see a future where, I mean, don't forget, this is a 1-mana 1/3. 1-mana 1/3s are notoriously good. So we're gonna give it a 2 because it's probably not gonna die right away. It's gonna survive to do whatever it wants to do next turn. So 2 for me.
You know what? I had a thought. Here's my thought. Odd Mage, right? Your hero power, what is it? Is your hero power cost 1 or is it does 2 damage?
2 damage.
cost 1, deal 6.
We're not. No. That's Demon Hunter.
Yeah.
I don't know. We're not. I don't think in Odd Mage that we're really jamming a bunch of spells, right?
Exactly.
I don't think I want to reduce my score down to a 1 because I think that, like, okay, that the stats fit good in a in an odd mage deck, but like the spell damage, I don't think has synergy with that deck. So I'm gonna put it back down to a 1 in standard, maybe okay, but I don't think in wild.
Hey, arcane missiles do 2 damage, man.
Yay! Sorry.
It was a bit of a joke.
to Firebrand. Firebrand is a 3-mana 3/4 minion, no tried, with Spell Burst. Deal 4 damage randomly split among all enemy minions. Firebrand really wants to be Flamewaker, and Firebrand is nowhere near as good as Flamewaker. It has the thing one time, and it doesn't let you go off. It's a 1 from me. There's just way too many other good things that Mage is doing, and it doesn't want to do this. What do you think, Mike?
Yeah, Firebrand looks, smells very much like Flamewaker, except that it's not Flamewaker. The name is spelled different. The ability is different. Yeah. I'll give this card like a 1 because none of the damage goes face. Everything I'm saying to wild players is obvious, but to players who might be new, somewhere in between, just pay attention. None of this damage goes to face. So
Yeah.
I'll give it a 1.
Yeah, I unfortunately I agree. Like I want to like the card. It is trying so hard to be Flamewaker, but it can't go face. That's what I like the stats. 3 mana 3/4, good stats. I don't really know what deck to put it in. Flamewaker is just way better, and so I don't see myself playing this even though I want to. So I'm stuck giving it a 1.
Yep, I'm going to mirror that. But I mean, the thing you want to think about with that is that Flamewaker also gets at least 3 to 4 procs off with it. I mean, even if this did go face, right, I think that it only doing 4 damage is the real capping factor.
Yeah.
Because normally with Flamewaker, you save up for a Sorcerer's Apprentice turn, you hit him with 4 or 5 spells, you deal 10 to 12 damage. And that's really where Flamewaker's ability shines. I mean, if you cleared the board, you're stalling out until you get to your Arcane Giant turn. The additional face damage is fantastic, but I think that even if this went face, it wouldn't be as good. I mean, it would be a better card, but it's still a 1 in my book.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's a good call on the sticking point that this, because it has spell burst, it only you can only proc it once. So, all right, Hydra.
Okay. Well, for me, I want to like it. Obviously, there is the parallel to the Flamewaker. I am drawing a different parallel to Goblin Blast Mage, which is Battlecry. If you have a mech, deal 4 damage randomly split, which is exactly what this has. Deal 4 damage randomly split among all enemy minions. And it makes me want to like it because I love Goblin Blast Mage, but I don't think it's good. It seems like an amalgamation of both. Blast Mage was 4 mana conditional. This is 3 mana conditional. Also, still
But
not
you also
good.
have to think that the spell afterwards costs mana typically.
Yeah, it does. So it's not. This isn't a 3 mana card, right? It's at least a 4 to 5 mana card. So, and Blast Mage had a way better stat line. It's 5/4, right? So, oh crap! I guess this is bad.
I mean, here's what it was. Goblin Blast Mage was good when there was 100 cards in the game. This would be a good card in Standard where there's 100 cards in the game.
Yeah. So this is it. Yeah, I was trying to make it look good. No, we're going with a 1.
That brings us to Cram Session. Cram Session is a 2-mana spell that reads, draw 1 card, improved by spell damage. The obligatory, this is going to be cool and playable in Standard, but not in Wild. Spell damage Mage won't be a thing in Wild. Cheaper AI is good, but the condition of needing spell damage is bad. You'll love getting this on Evocation if you're like a Quest Mage, but this is a 1 from me. You're never going to run this in your deck in a Wild deck. What do you think, Mike?
All right, so I'm currently scrolling through a lot of spell damage cards in Wild. Trying to see a way for me to build this. If I took this card itself, obviously I'm not going to build around it. We're drawing cards here. And then, obviously drawing cards are good. But in order to draw more cards, we need to get spell damage boosted. So that makes me stray away from two strategies that I play in Wild, which is completing a quest and winning a lot, or playing Secret Mage and deploying a lot of secrets and fireballs to face a lot. I don't see why I would stop playing those two strategies to try to figure out spell damage stuff. Now, if I get a quest for some gold, kind of like I said earlier with the Demon Hunter, I'm down. But I don't see this as like top tier competitive. So if I'm wrong, I will take this one right here on the podcast, live, whatever week it happens, and be like, I was wrong. But I give this card a 1.
Yeah. Me too. I think, quick and easy, there are better draw cards in Wild. So I've played a lot of Quest Mage. We like to draw cards. We don't like to draw cards from this. If I'm going to pay 2 mana, then I want to draw more than 1, and I'm not going to be putting spell damage cards in my deck on purpose. Like y'all have been saying, like when I get this off of Evocation, sweet, dude. That's great. If I get this randomly generated off of Glyph or something like that, great. But I don't see myself putting this card in my deck intentionally. And like Memnarch is saying, it's a build around, right, for this spell damage archetype. So this is a standard new archetype type card that is just not good enough in Wild. There's better stuff. Pass.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Danny, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm gonna mirror all that. There's not really much more to add. 1 star.
Okay, yeah, me too. The only spell damage card we're ever really running is Blood Mage Thalanos, right? Not enough to make this work. 1 star, pass. Done.
All right.
That brings us to Wormweaver. Wormweaver is a 5 mana 3/6 minion, no tribe, with spell burst. Summon 2 1/3 mana worms, and these are the mana worms that we're used to seeing. That get the attack whenever you play spells. So that's kind of neat. But
Okay.
5 mana for a 3/6, meh. Spell burst, then summon the 1/3s. That then I would like. It's trying to make Tempo Mage. Like it didn't get enough strong cards or synergies to make it work. There are way better things. This is really expensive. It is a 1-star card from me. What do you think, Mike?
All right, so based on Quest Mage, Secret Mage, I don't see myself putting this in either. Based on the ability, I must give it a 2. I cannot say that a third Mage deck will come out in top Secret or Quest, but I can't ignore how cool the effect is, because let's say this minion does live. Now, next turn I play a spell, there's 2 more worms. And if I'm playing against a class that doesn't have a crazy board clear, like Druid, unless they got seeds, we're in Wild, so let me think of that. I'm thinking of a scenario where this card can live and I can get 2 spell bursts off it. That seems pretty cool. But that's in some kind of 3rd, 4th deck outside of Quest Mage, Secret Mage.
The problem is you can't get 2 spell bursts though. It's only a one-time effect.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so that's what I was saying. Once per turn. Like if I get this first one off and then this card lives and the next turn, that seems cool. Unless you're saying spell burst only works once per game. Am I wrong? Am I not understanding spell burst?
It only works once per game. Yeah.
Once per game.
Oh, then this card's a 1. I apologize.
I
I really thought. I'm sorry.
The spell burst works.
No,
once,
no. Don't be sorry. You're fully right now that you get it. Yeah.
Yeah, no, and that stuff is. I recall when you remember when Rush first came out, when Echo first came out.
Yeah.
We can speculate, like we understand the concept, but until you've actually played with it, it's a little bit difficult to get a really good feel for it. We're 100%. Kind of in the same place, so I will echo you guys. I scored this one a 1. I think that this is an interesting card, but I don't see what deck it goes in. It is probably decent in standard. I think that, like somebody mentioned, hey, if you discover this off of a random, like, okay, whatever. But like, and like the art's cool, but I don't see myself intentionally putting this in my deck. I don't know what it would go in. So I think it's kind of filler personally, which makes me a little sad, but I give it a 1. Danny?
Hey, quick shout out to all the listeners. I want to apologize because this entire time, my understanding was that spell burst would reset after every turn.
Oh god, that'd be awesome.
So knowing that, -1 score from all my spell burst scores prior to this, and going forward, watch out.
I don't.
Oh, good, Mike.
Yeah. So, to be fair, though, don't feel too bad, Mike, because I screwed up how Invoked worked during our last set review. I did the same exact thing.
Yeah.
I remember.
I screwed up how I thought that Invoke worked completely differently than it actually did. Halfway through the review, I went, "Oh crap! Is that how it actually works?" But that was during the Born to Be Wild review. So you're not the first person to have screwed something up.
Is it because we live in the same state?
It's something in the water.
We're 30 minutes away. That's what happened, bro.
Yeah.
That's funny. All right.
But for this card, I think that this is just a little bit too slow. I mean, I've never seen a 5-mana tempo mage card that doesn't do something that is immediately impactful. So I don't know. I'm gonna pass. 1 star.
Yeah, for me, Mana Worm was played on turn 1. I don't need them on turn 5 or 6. Seems way too late to be trying to make Mana Worms get big at this point. Your opponent has board clears and stuff to deal with it. No good. 1 star.
Mana Worm was awesome before it got nerfed. And, there
dude,
we go.
Nate, hear me out here for half a second. When I made my EU and Asia accounts, I did full on like tempo mage on both, and then they nerfed Mana Worm, and
we all cried.
Single tear down my face. Like I'm like, no.
Are we?
I never realized how much I love that card until they nerfed it. I didn't realize. I was like, oh my god.
Pour one out for our fallen brother.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see what's up next.
Next to Combustion. Combustion is a 3-mana mage spell that reads, deal 4 damage to a minion. Any excess damages both neighbors. You might end up running this as a spell in an odd mage, but even at that, it's a might. You will never hate seeing this off of random effects, but you're not ever gonna be hard running this. I don't think in pretty much any deck. Like maybe Reno Mage, maybe because it's cheap, deals 4 damage. Could I think I'm talking myself up to a 2, but yeah, this is a 2 because you might end up running this in like Reno Mage. Reno Quest Mage, that kind of thing, but because it's cheap, it's removal, and it could get rid of a few things on a Demon Hunter's board. But God, that's a generous 2. Like I don't feel good about that 2. It's a 1.5. That's just finding an edge case for it. What do you think, Mike?
I feel bad for Combustion because not only do I dislike this card, my review for this card comes immediately after finding out how Spell Burst actually works. So this card, of course, isn't Spell Burst. I'm just really sour right now. I'm sorry, Combustion. Spell Burst really only works 1 time during the entire game.
It's a one and done.
For that
It's like-
specific card,
that
it doesn't. So you play another spell burst card, you can spell burst off that, but each card only gets one allocation to it.
So here
Think
it's
of it
I'll-
like Battle Cry, but it doesn't actually resolve until you cast a spell.
yeah, it's
Okay.
interesting. If you've watched any of the reveal streams, which I kind of try to avoid
I
most of
haven't.
them.
I really
So
haven't.
what's
Sorry.
interesting is, you know, on some of these cards that'll get like a little lightning bolt at the bottom, you know, or a little symbol at the bottom. So the spell burst cards get this little like twinkly symbol at the bottom
Cool.
to kind of indicate that the spell burst ability has not triggered yet. And then once you play the spell, that ability triggers and that little icon like goes away. So you can use it same turn, you can use it next turn. You know, you can, there's no limit on when you can use it. So that I think is interesting, but at the same time, like it really requires, you know, they're very situational. And I think Wild, like the power level is so high that, like dropping a spell burst card on the board without triggering it is very risky. Like it better be really good. So anyways.
Yeah.
All right, so,
I like
sorry.
the general idea of being able to drop it and then like basically turning something that's not a high priority target into a high priority target. Like I think there's some really cool like high level play there, but
Okay.
even at that, it's Sorry,
To
go ahead,
answer
Mike.
this question for combustion, jokes aside, I'll give it a 1. Any card that says a minion, I'm out. I'm out. I gotta go face. I'm out.
Yeah, okay. I mean I'm curious to see what Danny says on this one. I think for me, I'm gonna give it a 3, which is a little bit different than you guys. Here's my thought. I think 4 damage for 3 is nice. I like the AoE potential. It's definitely better in standard for a spell damage mage as like a AoE effect. But I could see myself putting this in like a Reno mage because it's cheap removal. It's not like, I don't know. I really do like what they did with the last set when you get, what is it, Rolling Fireball, I think, where they're starting to kind of explore like the trample effect. It's not a great analogy, but the kind of spillover, if you will.
Trample.
I enjoy, right? And so depending on how you line this up, what I'm curious about, and I don't know how this works, is like, okay, say I'm fighting a demon hunter, right? And they've got all these 2 health minions, and I aimed this at one of their 2 health minions. It's going to kill it. What the 2 damage? Do I hit 2 on either side, or is it 1 on either side? It's
2 on either side.
Yeah, see, I kind of like that. I kind of like
Wait,
that.
whoa.
So I'm gonna give it a 3. I think that
Okay.
Wait, it does. So it'll deal 6?
no. Well, no.
You get 6 total damage, yeah. So it'll
Right.
deal. So if you have a 2/2 in, let's say your opponent plays a doppelgangster rather, and then so there's the 3 next to it. If you target the middle one, it'll kill the middle one, and then it will do 2 damage to the ones on either side.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
But if
okay.
you have like a wolf pack and you have a 3/3, and then like 3/3s on the other side, you deal 3 damage to the middle one,
And then
and
one on
one
either.
will go to the outsides.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or if you have a 1/1 in the middle, it'll deal 3 to the ones on the outside.
Yeah, I see. I think this is pretty flexible. I don't think it's busted or anything, but I definitely see myself playing it. I'm gonna give it a 3. I want to experiment with it at least before ruling it out.
So I do think that this card in relation, so my initial comparison for this card is Shadowbolt in Warlock, right? And I immediately dismissed the card out of hand because of that, because Shadowbolt's just a terrible card. And my thought then was comparing it to what is it? What's the, I can't think of the spell that deals 3 damage for 2. In Frostbolt, Frostbolt deals is like not run for removal in Mage, but the sweet spot. I think you hit the sweet spot there, Nate, where like 2 health minions are where this really shines because it deals 2 to that and then 2 to the other sides. My only concern is that there already is a spell in Mage that does this, Volcanic Potion. And so I think Volcanic Potion is just a strictly better card in that sense. Where how often are you running Volcanic Potion anyway? And I don't think that it's being run at all in Reno Mage.
No.
I haven't seen that in a while.
Yeah, so I'm giving this a 1 because you get more than just the 3 minions on board that you're targeting there. It is a little bit more versatile because you can kill a totem golem with it, where Volcanic Potion won't kill that, but I don't see it much as an upgrade. I think that you really, in these early game spots, pinpointing removal is not as strong as getting your own minion on board. I think that you want to be back and forth minion damage for the first 2 or 3 turns, and then like that 5 mana slot, you want to use a big board wipe. Or like you get like a rolling fireball or something in priest you use all your big removal spells are at 5 and above. I think that these early game spots you want to be playing minions more than spells nowadays. So I'm going to give this card a 1.
Okay. For me, I'm going to compare this card to Flame Cannon, which is a 2 mana deal 4 to a random enemy minion, right? So this is deal 4 to whatever you want for 1 more mana instead of random. And it also has the rolling fireball effect, right? So I think it's a better Flame Cannon, and I think it could go in a Reno deck, and I'm going to give this one a 3 because of the fact it's targeted and it is versatile, right? Because you can either just kill one big thing, like you said, Totem Golem, or you can spread it out, you can hit multiple targets, and it is targeted. So I think it's a better Flame Cannon. So I'm going to go 3.
Yeah. It's interesting, and so Sheep posted the scoring guidelines again, and I think it's easy to get off track sometimes. I think 3 is, what do we say? 3 is good enough to see play. 4 is we'll see play. 5 is like it's busted. And so yeah, okay. I mean, I tend to agree with you, Hydralisk. But yeah, it's it has to be the right deck, right? And so I guess keeping in mind that a 2 score is not necessarily bad. It means that it's fringe. Like, okay, you'll play it maybe in something that isn't tier 1. So it's actually, there's kind of a big drop between like 1 and 2. But anyways, all right. I apologize for getting us off track.
No worries. Yeah, I think that's a pretty good distinction to make. And exactly why I gave that one a 2. That brings us, finally, in the Mage class, to Mozaki, Master Duelist. Mozaki is a 5 mana 3/8. After you cast a spell, gains spell damage +1. This is definitely a card that, like, spell damage mage and standard is going to run. I can't think of any decks that I'm going to run in wild that hard run this card. Like, I hate to say unplayable, but like, what's going to play it? I think Mozaki is a 1 for me. What do you think, Mike?
Yeah, I was trying to think of some fun stuff. As far as wild, I'll be real. I'll give it a 1 star. We're a wild podcast doing a wild review based on the wild meta. I can't give it anything higher than a 1. I'd love to, but it's a 1 for me.
I think for me, I think that it has an interesting stat line. A 5 mana 3/8 is kind of, I don't know, like it's hard to kill. I'm not sure that it has a place in wild. My initial thoughts were that you could put it in Odd Mage, but like, number 1, nobody plays it. Number 2, Odd Mage doesn't really, like, in Odd Mage you're using your hero power quite a bit, but you're not running a ton of spells. I could see it in some kind of burn deck. Like if we want to bring back Freeze Mage, that it could get nutty, right? And because you could, or say, if I can jam this out with, Sorcerer's Apprentice and a Flame Waker, I can generate, some crazy spell damage, but like it doesn't seem that good. God, I remember getting so mad the first time that someone destroyed me as a freeze mage. Like you popped ice block twice, and they've got 1 health left, and then they just, you know, frostbolt, fireball, everything, and ice lance, yeah. So I want someone to try it, but like, I don't know. I give it a 2 because I think it could be potentially fringe, and I think that the size of the body makes it difficult to remove, unless you're priest. But I don't know. We'll see. I give it a 2.
I'm going to give it a 1. I don't think it's going to see any play whatsoever. It's a standard card.
Well, and I think actually, you know what, Memnarch posted in the chat, and I think that this is really important to note that the card says after you cast a spell, gain spell damage +1, and so you don't gain any spell damage until you've cast at least 1. So your second spell gets spell damage +1, and so to make this thing actually work, like it could get out of hand, but like it's going to be really hard to actually trigger.
Well, hold on. What's the order? So
Wait.
say I played this, and then we play Arcane Missiles. I casted it, right? So I cast it.
So if it read
And
whenever,
now it has +1. So I've casted it. Do they not do 2 damage each?
I don't know. I don't know.
no.
Well, they would never do
first
2
one.
damage each. You would get 4 of them if you got a spell damage +1. But
You're right.
You would only get 3 of them.
Right.
On the
So
first,
because it reads after instead of whenever. If it read whenever, then you would get 4. But
So a
since it reads
fireball is not
after-
going to do 7. It'll do 6.
No, it'll be
No.
Correct.
Yeah.
I retract my score and give this a 1.
Yeah. That's why, not to cut anyone off, but that's why I gave it a 1, because I played many, many years of Yu-Gi-Oh! And sequencing was the big thing. So reading cards in Hearthstone is a big thing, as dumb as that sounds. But like you guys pointed out, it's after you cast the first spell. That's why I was just like, if I could play missiles or whatever and it activates immediately, sure. But it's after the fact. So I gave it a 1.
Okay, no, here's where I asked the question, though, because for the 3 mana 2/3 rush, after you attack, it silences a minion, right? It silences first, and then you hit it, right? So this is after you cast a spell,
Yep.
gain spell damage +1. So if it works the same way, the second you cast the spell,
So-
this would apply, and then you would get the spell damage before it hits, like that other card. It doesn't. The other card doesn't say whenever, right?
That
True.
other card,
True,
Mage Hunter does read whenever.
Does it say whenever?
Yeah.
It does read whenever.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Good call.
You got me, sheep. You got me, sheep.
Yeah, I was gonna say, as someone who came from Yu-Gi-Oh, I'm very much reading like how the wording goes. So thank you, Sheep, for pointing that out, because it says whenever. Yep.
Okay, garbage. One, I'm done. I was looking forward to some weird burn mage, ice lance, frostbolt hit your face. Yeah,
I was too. I'm not gonna lie. Like you see these and like you want it to work really bad, and it doesn't, and like it just makes me sad. And like one of us is gonna get that in gold, and we're gonna cry a little bit. 'Cause
Day
somebody
one.
already did.
No.
Somebody already did on Twitter. I'll look it up, but someone did.
right.
Yeah.
Don't
so-
open your packs till the day of. I'm waiting till next Thursday. You're not jinxing me.
Same.
I'm waiting till Thursday, bro.
Same.
All right, Mike,
So, Mike,
you're up. Let's
This
do some
brings us to
paladin, and I'm gonna
you
take
are our paladin
Mike.
guy. Mike, take the reins for
Ooh.
paladin.
All right, let's go. All right.
You like this card. I remember you liked this card.
Yeah, I like the idea of it. So our first card up, it's a 0 mana paladin spell. It's called First Day of School. You all remember your first day of school. Might be a little bit nervous. You're not upperclassmen. So this card reads, add 2 random 1-cost minions to your hand. So currently we have our boy Sheep here. He's got the Omega Mega Mech Paladin deck. I don't see this going in there. We got Odd Paladin. This costs 0, so that's not going in there. Other than that, I play Shrivala. It's kind of on the outside. There's OTK Libram Pally. So I just need 4 decks that I don't see this card going in. I like the idea of the card. So based on that little bias, I like Paladin. I'll give it a 2. It really should get a 1, but I'll give it a 2 unless someone else can convince me. And I feel bad going before Danny because every time he says something, dang it, I'm just like, this guy's smart. So let me give it a 2 for now unless someone says something more profound than me.
I'll make mine quick.
I got nothing on this one.
All right. Yeah, I give it a 1. I think that it's too random. So keep in mind, this says 2 random 1-cost minions. It does not say Paladin minions. It could be neutral. It could be any class. And especially in Wild, our card pool now at this point, 6 years in, is gigantic. So you're gonna get a gibberer and something else. Like it's gonna be hot trash. And I don't. And even in like you're playing Shrivala or something, or you want to play something that like actually costs mana so that it can reduce your cards later. Like, I just don't see it. This feels like garbage to me. So you think, Danny, you said you got nothing?
Yeah, I got nothing. The issue with this, right, is the only reason you would play this is to guarantee that you have a 1-drop on a specific turn. But I think that Mike covered it pretty succinctly by saying that there's no deck that really runs that. There's no, like, aggressive style deck that isn't mech related for Paladin right now. If there was an even Paladin, maybe you'd consider this to guarantee that you get a 1-drop on 1. But I mean, you even have your hero power in that instance, so I don't see anything with it.
Well, yeah, and keep in mind, like you play this on turn 1, okay, but like if I'm mid game and I top deck this, like I'm pretty unhappy. So, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I only like this card if you have it in your hand at the beginning. It guarantees you a 1-cost card that you can play in Even Paladin, but Even Paladin isn't a deck right now. Rest in peace, Call to Arms. I miss you. But this is a... we're gonna go 1. It's until Even Paladin's back. This is a 1-star card for me. Sorry,
Man, I really want to like First Day of School because I loved Even Paladin back in the day, but I don't even know if I would run First Day of School in Even Paladin because in Even Paladin I'm gonna hero power turn 1 anyway. Like I already have my turn 1 play. Like this adds 2 1-cost minions to your hand. I'm giving this a 1-cost score. That's a 1 for me.
nice.
All right.
I'm giving this a
Judicious.
1-cost score.
Judicious.
Oop, I apologize. I'm sorry.
It's all good.
All right.
Were you on
So,
that? Were you just on that Born to Be Wild website? Is that what was going on there, Mike Lowe? Mike Lowe TV. Mike Lowe TV. Were you just on borntobewild.com?
No, if I was on that website without the HS, you would have heard other jungle sounds. But back to our review here. So our second card is let me pronounce this correctly. Judicious Junior?
Judicious Junior. Yeah.
Judicious, excuse me. So we have Judicious Junior. 6 mana, 4 attack, 9 life, lifesteal minion. This one, I like the lifesteal. Doesn't fit in the Mech Paladin because it's not. I'm sorry, I should do what Sheep does. No tribe, has no tribe. Doesn't fit in Mech. Doesn't fit in Odd Paladin. Me being goofy, I'll try this in Shrivala, and I have yet to even scratch the surface of this OTK Libram Pally from. Is it Blister Guy, Nate? Was that who it's from?
No, he played it, but it was. I think we got it from the Chinese server. There's some lists in our Discord. Recently, I mean, the deck is relatively strong. I don't know. It's a control paladin deck. It's like a Libram OTK with Auction Master Beardo and the Uther Death Knight.
Mm-hmm.
So based on the 4 decks I've named three of them I play a lot. I don't see this card going in any, but I'll be a little bit biased, maybe because, Paladin class, maybe because of the artwork, despite conversations on Twitter. I'll give it a 2. I would like to see in the future at some point there could be a different type of Paladin, but for now, I'll give it a 2. I'm just being biased.
Yo, Mike, before your turn's over, did you see the whole Shia comment on this about how he thinks this is the first black character that has ever been in Hearthstone?
I did see that. And then I saw Frobro jump in, and he was like, what did he say? He's like, Keck or Fivehead. He was like, hello, did you forget about Lone Champion? So shout out to Frobro.
Oh, Frobro!
Yeah.
Hold on, I'm totally looking up Lone Champion.
It's all good.
That's the original Bob.
That's what I'm doing too.
I did see the tweet. Shout out to Shia.
Oh no, that's true. This is what everybody says looks like. That's
Bob.
admirable.
This is. Do you know the lore of this card though? Do you remember during Mean Streets of Gadget Zan when they did the panel at BlizzCon? They had the art director at that time. I don't know if it was the art director, but one of the lead artists on Hearthstone doing one of the panels. And I believe that this card was designed to like mimic, like it looked like him. I'll dig it up. I'll dig it up later. And I'll share it with you guys. It's pretty cool though. And then there was some, I don't know. There's the little conspiracy, right? People think that, who was Bob before Bob became the barkeeper, right? Was it Lone Champion or was it the Knight one, whatever it is called?
Yeah, the Silverhand Knight guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's the one that people say it looks like admirable.
Silverhand Knight.
I will share it with you later. But okay, here's my thought on this card.
Mm-hmm.
There's no existing archetype that I think this goes in, but I give it a 3. I think 6 mana, 4/9 lifesteal seems like an amazing stat line. I think that maybe this goes in a new archetype. I don't know, but I think that the stat line is really good. Now, I have for years have been like secretly wanting to make this work. I don't know if you guys recall the card Blackguard. It's a Paladin card.
Yes.
6 mana, 3/9. Whenever you gain health, deal that much damage to a random enemy minion.
Yes.
And then there's some other cards that like, when you gain life, do this or whatever. Like the archetype was never good enough. I've had, tried with a couple friends to like make this a thing and it just hasn't been good enough. But like, this is one more tick in that direction. Like Goliath is calling it like a heal Paladin deck. I don't know that it's good enough, but like, damned if I'm not going to try to make it good. So I give it a 3. I just think that this is really difficult to deal with. The 4 attack. I don't know.
Priest can't touch it.
Everybody else. I think everyone think I'm crazy, but I want to try it, so I give it a 3. Danny, what do you think?
So I'm gonna give this card a 2. I think I know where Blizzard's coming with like the developers for this card. This is designed to be a duel card where you play duel. Like your minion comes out, their minion comes out, they smash into each other. This one survives. You heal 4. I think that, and then there's another dual class card. I think it's called Commencement, where it's pull a minion from your deck, give it Divine Shield, and Taunt. So I think that's where this card is. This is designed to be the big butt card that survives a little bit, and then it has some effect put on it. Either it gets taken out of your deck, or like as soon as you get the life steal, it's a strong effect. But the issue I have is that on 6 mana playing this card, it's too easy to be removed. This is right into your opponent's Psychic Scream turn. This is right into a lot of like Siphon Soul type effects. There's a new Priest Warlock card that destroys a minion. This is something that if you play this and you don't get a benefit from it, you're really sad. And it doesn't have taunt either. So against aggro, your opponent's just going to dodge this.
Thank you. Yep.
Yeah, that's one of my concerns about the card, but I'm just going to be giving this I want to give this a higher score, but I think I'm going to have to give this a 1.
A 1. Wow. Okay.
Wow.
Hydra, what do you think?
Well, I don't know if I'm gonna give it a 1, but I really had a lot of fun in the past playing like a control paladin and as we've talked about before, I have some weird golden cards. I've got the good happy rag in gold, and I love when that guy heals my face. And this definitely heals my face, but it ain't got taunt.
Yeah.
Right? If this card had taunt, I would even sacrifice like a health on here or 4/8 for taunt on this. I
Sure.
don't think it completely makes the cut. It possibly could. I don't think it's out of the realm of a like controlled paladin. So I do think it could be playable. Control Pally isn't really something you ever really run into on ladder right now. But I don't want to throw this one away with the bathwater. So it's going to be a 2 for me. I still think it's a good card. It's almost a 3, to be honest. But hey, Nate, remember the Blackguard thing you were talking about?
Yeah.
Do you remember the interaction with True Silver Champion?
Vaguely.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So there was like a thing where if your opponent, if it had like a 2 health minion and you have True Silver Champion and you like attacked with your Blackguard, the attack on the how did it work? The effect would kill it first, and you don't lose the charge of your weapon. So it would like kill the minion, and you still would keep your weapon charge. So you had like infinite weapon charges. Is basically like an amazing thing.
I wanted to. I
it
wanted
could go
to
in the same
work,
deck.
and
Let's build that.
Memnarch says even Paladin has lots of support this set. So maybe. I don't know. Sheep, what do you think about this?
Judicious Junior is so close to a 3-star card for me. If it was a 4/8 with taunt, honestly, it was a 4-mana 2/6. Crazy, amazing. Even Paladin is near and dear to my heart, but I think Judicious Junior is just too slow to play in that. And it doesn't have taunt. Like if it had taunt, it'd be different. This is definitely meant for standard with commencement, with other kind of dual or recruit type effects.
Yeah.
It's just too expensive for me to even want to run in an even Paladin. I want so hard to give this a 3, but it's a 1 for me.
I think you're right. Like we all end up playing aggro decks, right? Your opponent drops this on 6, and you are smiling because then you are hitting them in the face. Like, you don't care about this, right? I mean, I don't know. It's unfortunate because like it is so close, but
so close.
All right. Well, let's. Okay, you gave it a 2. Is that right?
A 1.
A 1. Gotcha. All right. Next up.
All right. So if we're going from a low scoring card, this one would have got scored higher, but during this revealed podcast, I learned about Spellburst. So our next card is Goody Two Shields, 3 mana, no tribe, Paladin minion, 4 attack, 2 health. It's got the ability Divine Shield and also Spellburst. When you Spellburst it, it can gain Divine Shield. So I like the idea of playing it on 3, trading it, playing a spell on 4, get Divine Shield back. Prior to the show, I really thought I could keep trading and then playing a spell, getting a shield back, and then trade again. But being on this show, Born to Be Wild, HS.com, I learned that Spellburst only works once per game. So I'm going to give this card, seeing the deck that's going to go in, I'm guessing Odd Paladin. I'll give it a, it's tough to say this. I'll give it a 3. Yeah. As you can hear, it's really tough to say that, but I believe at least a 3, if not the highest. Spellburst happens once, so yeah, 3.
This is a really interesting card to me. I think the more I looked at it, the more I liked it. I think 3 mana 4/2 Divine Shield seems good. You can trade, like Mike said, you can trade it. It's pretty easy to give it Divine Shield again. I think the thing that I struggle with is where do I put it, right? It's a 3 cost. Like, if we look at the existing archetypes of Paladin, right? I've got Odd Paladin, which is strong and very synergized, right? I've got this Libram Paladin, kind of OTK funky build. I've got maybe on the fringes and even Paladin, I guess, and some funky Reno decks and stuff. But like, is this like, if I'm playing Odd, what do I pull out of my deck to put this in? I can't think of anything because it doesn't synergize with the Silverhand recruits. That being said, like, I mean, I like what it does. It feels strong to me, but it doesn't feel like it goes in that deck very well. I'm going to give it a 2, and I wanted to give it a 3. But I just struggle with where I'm going to actually play it. I think that it feels strong to me. Like when, somebody plays this, it's a pain to try to deal with. But like, I don't know. In Odd Paladin, right? What spells am I running? I think we're running the Secret that gives everything extra health when your opponent plays a spell. I think
summon 2 Silverhand recruits.
Yeah, Lost in the Jungle, right?
Yeah.
And I think we play the card that everybody hates, where you draw a million cards. Divine. No, what is it called?
Divine Favor.
Divine Favor, right?
I love it.
Yeah.
So maybe like jam this in a. I don't know what it could be, Secret Paladin or something. I'm not sure. I really like it. I'm on the border of a 2 and a 3, but I'm going to go with a 2 and feel bad about it. Danny, what do you think?
I think the only spot you'd really want to slot this in is Secret Paladin, like you had said there, just because you can get that Divine Shield immediately after. Because what's going to end up happening is your opponent. You have to hit your opponent where they can only deal with the Divine Shield, like they can't deal 2 extra damage afterwards, and that's the tough part with this card. I think there's a similar card that is Reborn that, it has Lifesteal. I remember it's a 4/2. It has Lifesteal and Reborn. So, in my comparison between the two of them, this one gets an extra Divine Shield, because Divine Shield is kind of like Reborn, but at the end of the thing, like it's like a Divine Shield after the minions died. That's a good way to compare the two of them. So, this does not have Lifesteal, but it gets the extra copy of Divine Shield. But I don't know. I think that it has to be Secret Paladin, because you need to be playing this on 3. It's not good later on, because your opponent's going to be able to clear it. You don't get the value out of that second Divine Shield. And then you have to be able to trade into another minion on that next turn immediately. So I think the only deck that's really trying to do that is Secret Paladin, because I think that in Odd Paladin, you're more or less trying to build a wide board as opposed to a tall board with a 4/2. And I think your 3 mana slot in that deck is way contested with Muster for Battle, whatever the 3/3 that gives Divine Shield to. There are a lot of good 3-drop cards in that deck, so I wouldn't really want to play that here. So I'm going to give this card a 2.
Okay. So I think that this card is quite strong. I don't think it's amazing in any current deck that we do have. But what I do want to point out is the fact that it's a 3 mana card with Divine Shield, and it's a 4/2.
Mm-hmm.
So they need to have an answer to this, right? So you drop this on turn 3. They need to have at least 2 minions that can proc or kill the Divine Shield and kill the minion, right? So they may need to hit it with their face. They may need to trade 2 minions into it. It is something that needs to be killed, right? Because if they do not kill it, like, they could try to soften it up and get rid of the Divine Shield, but if they don't kill it, we're going to get that Divine Shield back, right? So it is a target that needs to be hit.
Compare it to a shielded mini bot at a 2 mana 2/2 Divine Shield. This is a 3 mana 4/2 Divine Shield that can gain Divine Shield again.
Again, yeah. So I think this has potential to hit 4 to the face over and over, right? at least for one extra turn. But so it has Divine Shield the first time, then it's alive again, and then it gets Divine Shield another time, and then it's alive again. That's like 4 lives on this card.
The
right?
question is, right, when your opponent plays this, do you get upset about it? Right?
Like, so in my brain, you have to kill it right away. So for me, even though I don't know exactly what archetype it's gonna go in, it's a 3 for sure, because it's a good card. For
Fair
me,
enough.
it's a good card. Yeah.
Sheep, what do you think?
I think in a vacuum, Goody Two Shields is an amazing card. But we play Wild, and Wild is not a vacuum whatsoever. There's a ton of context going into Wild, right? Nate, listening to you is kind of how my thought process went, right? Like, where am I going to play this? Odd Paladin, maybe? But I kind of basically, it doesn't have synergy with the rest of my Odd Paladin deck.
Yeah.
Danny makes a good point with Secret Paladin, but at the same time, I don't think that that's going to end up getting run and like competitive whatsoever. I think at the end of the day, I got to give it a 1 because in a vacuum, super strong, but we don't play in a vacuum, and however strong it is, it doesn't have synergy with what the rest of the deck that it belongs in would be trying to do. Also, Mage Hunter that we were talking about earlier kills this immediately.
Yeah.
Don't have to worry about it. It's just done.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
1 star for me.
I love the like the artwork going along with the name of the card, like, and just I think this entire set really didn't touch on it, but like the like just the theme of it all is so fun. I really enjoy that aspect of it. But anyways,
Thematically, this set is on point.
Yeah. All right. I like. I want to talk about this next one, but it's not my turn. Sorry, Mike. What do you think?
All right. So speaking of going with the theme, this card right here has the artwork where it shows somebody in authority casting a blessing on someone who isn't in authority. That's right. 5-mana Paladin spell, Blessing of Authority. Give a minion +8 attack and +8 health. The catch is it can't attack heroes this turn. So for me, when I see this spell and the whole set, so what came to my mind first was put this spell on any minion you have. Hopefully it's some kind of divine shield, some kind of taunt where it can do a trade on board, gain some kind of advantage there. And then there's another card we're going to talk about coming up pretty soon, where it can gain the attack and health of the highest on the field. So this spell only comes when the only advantage I think of playing this spell would be like some kind of long game, like Libram, where I need to play Liadrin or Linessa later on. But I play a lot of Sheep's Mech Pally. I don't see myself using this card. I haven't played Odd Paladin in a while, but obviously this card's not going in there. And yeah, I just see one style for this card right now. So at the moment, I got to give it a 1.
I want to try this really badly in Odd Paladin. Now, I think that this is a hot take. The stream is dying. Yay. Okay. Hopefully it's back up in a second. Here's my thought on it's 5 mana in Odd Pally. You're generating every turn, 2 1/1s. This forces, like, I don't care that it can't attack this turn. I mean, that makes me sad, but it really forces your opponent to use their removal on your token. So it's an immediate threat, right? If I'm playing Odd Pally, I'm generating Silverhand recruits every turn if I can, no matter what. And then on 5, I now have a 9/9, and my opponent is like, oh crap, I need to deal with this, otherwise it's going to kill me. A lot of times I will ask myself, when I'm scoring a card, if I top deck this late game, am I happy or am I sad? I don't mind this because this is an immediate threat that forces them to deal with it. In Odd Paladin, my other 5-drop, I've got my 2 Armsmen, right? And Lotheb, and what else do I have? I don't think really anything. And so I want to try it in that. I mean, I think that this is scary. So I gave it a 3. What do you think? What do you think, Danny?
I'm torn about this card because 5 mana is that slot where I think that 6 mana is this needs to be impactful on the board and complete things immediately, or else it's not worth running at all. 5 mana, it's kind of in that gray area where you kind of have to impact the board immediately, but you can float around a little bit. My issue is the line that says it can't attack heroes this turn. Obviously, if it was a 5 mana, give a minion +8/+8, that'd be fantastic. But my concern is that buffing things in Paladin, like, how good is that generally? Because you look at it for 4 mana, give a minion +4/+4, Blessing of Kings. Is that run at all? Not really. My only thought would be that, like, you double that. You get +4/+4 for 1 mana, which is really good, with the downside of it not being able to attack heroes. You have to put this on a taunt in that case, in my mind, for this to be good, because you have to be protecting yourself. So my only thought is that this card would see play in a control Paladin deck, because you're putting a defense up with a taunt, and then you're making the taunt bigger. So I think that was just a lot of talk to say that this is just a 1-star card in my mind.
Yeah, I'm going to tend to agree with that. This does not go in an aggro deck. Aggro hits face. +8/+8 is amazing. But I'm going to go with the 1-star here too, because if we're going to be buffing something that can attack heroes, it's controlling the board. This is a board control type card, and Wild is a little too fast for that right now. So 1-star.
So I'm really excited to play the last Kaleidosaur once more. Is it going to be good? Oh, absolutely not. I'm going to have so much fun failing with this deck all over the place on day 1.
All the different like Liadrin cards or whatever got a lot of support this set. So
yeah, there's this one. There's the dual class with Priest. Like, I'm gonna try it. Honestly, could it work? Maybe. Probably not. So I'm gonna give it a 2 because I'm gonna try really hard with Blessing of Authority. It's not gonna work out. It's not gonna be great. But I'm so excited about that meme deck that I'm gonna go for 2.
Okay.
All
right. So we got Sheep going with a 2 there. Okay. So I know this next card, it may be a 2 mana cost, but I know for a fact it's not going to get rated a 2. For me, at least. So, without further ado, we have a new minion in the Paladin class. 2 mana, no tribe. It's called Argent Braggart. 1 attack, 1 health. Why is it special? The battle cry. Gain attack and health to match the highest in the battlefield. This card seems a little bit like Travis Scott, the highest in the room. So when I play this card, I gotta have my Travis Scott on my soundboard ready on deck. Hit that button because this card is gonna be the highest statted in the room, or at least matching it. I'm looking to combo this card with some other cards. Based on this ability alone, I want to give it a 3. I would go into more depth and go crazy if it had a second or third ability like Divine Shield or Taunt or Rush, but just based on it gaining stats of someone else, I'll give it a 3.
Okay, so I have a question before I score this, because I've seen people going crazy over this card, But my question is, the battle cry is gain attack and health to match the highest. So it's not gain attack and health like of the highest and add it to the 1/1, right? It's match whatever the biggest is.
Yeah, I think it's even.
If your opponent plays a giant, this becomes an 8/8.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that makes sense. I mean, so here's my thought though. At the very, very worst, you know, I mean, like, do you ever play this on an empty board? Like, I hope not. If you've got
Hero power.
Okay, so I think initially I read it wrong, right? Because I was thinking you take, you know, whatever else is on the board and add it to this, which I thought, oh, if that's the case, that makes it really strong. Like, okay, you know, I've got a Silverhand Recruit out. This becomes a 2-mana 3/3. But like that sounds like it is not how that works, right?
Wait a second.
Wait,
No.
Nate. Actually, Nate. I think it says gain. So would gain mean +1 of whatever it gains?
So only no, because it says to match the
Match.
highest
The
in the battle.
biggest word is
Got it.
match. Yeah.
Got
match.
it. Okay.
Wait, here. Arthas in the chat says it matches the health and the attack separately.
Exactly.
So if the opponent has a 5/1 and a 1/5, this becomes a 5/5. So it's really interesting.
Oh.
I mean, I think people are gonna play this, but I don't know. I'm really like I don't really know what deck it goes into. I mean, I think this is definitely a unique effect, and I feel like we're playing Hearthstone beta. You know, we're trying this card to see what this weird effect does, and I think sometimes it's going to be really good and sometimes not so much. Am I going to be mad when my opponent plays a 2-mana 8/8? You know, a 2-mana 7/7? Like, yeah. But then again, it doesn't have taunt. It doesn't have lifesteal. It doesn't have, like, if it had a taunt, busted, right? If it had, you know, some kind of effect, I mean, I definitely think that there's some value there. You know, you can contest the board. Your opponent plays a giant or something like that. You know, you can match it. But, like, I feel like you're behind when you're running this. So unless you combo it with something else, I struggle to see where it goes. You know, I don't know. Initially, I had scored it much higher when I did my first read through. I had scored it a 4, but like, the more I read it, the more I think about it. Like, I think that I'm down to. I don't know. I think I'm down to a 2 at this point. I struggle to see like what deck I would put it in, and I feel like if I'm playing this, like I'm behind. So I don't know. I'm curious to see what you guys think about it, though.
So my thought on this is very similar. This seems like this doesn't seem good if you're behind, like what you were saying. I think if your opponent has, like, let's say you're playing even lock, your opponent gets down a mountain giant, you play the Braggart for 2, they played their giant for 3, that's when this is okay. Like, it's like a way to counter specifically giants. But I mean, most of the time, I don't think that checking the attack and checking the health is really relevant, because typically it's one minion that has the highest attack and the highest health. Like Ysera and other dragons are the corner case in that one. But I actually think that this card, if your opponent has a big minion and you're using this to copy that minion, like, they're just gonna swing face with that minion. Like, they like, at worst, you're using this minion to trade into their minion 2 turns later. So I would much rather just run some sort of removal in that case. And then if you already have a big minion on board and you're copying that minion with this, I would just rather play some other bomb in that situation. So, I mean, the mana cost for this being cheap at 2 is solid, which is why I'm going to give it a 2, but I'm leaning more towards a 1 generally. But I will give this card a 2 just because it is very cheap. And that's the only reason why I'd play it. But I just don't think it's a strong card.
I think that it's a really, really cool effect. I like that for 2 mana, you can, you know, get huge stats, but I feel like if you're playing this card to match a big minion that they've already dropped, they probably already have the board. They're probably going to ignore what you've just done, and they're still going to hit you in the face the next turn, right?
Probably.
So unless you're running some sort of defensive control deck where you've got Defender of Argus or something like that, and you're going to taunt up, which really doesn't really exist in Paladin right now, this is kind of garbage, unfortunately.
I wish it had taunt, right? I mean,
like it's super cool. Like it's super cool. Like I get it, but if somebody drops this against me, I'm just gonna bypass it. I'm gonna put as much damage to the face as possible, and I don't care if you trade whatever you got from this into my guy, right? Because I'm gonna still get that face damage.
Well, that's what we have learned from playing this game for many years: is you force the opponent to trade, right? And so if I have a mountain giant or any sort of giant, like I'm going to hit you and you play this, okay, cool. I'm going to hit you in the face and then you can trade into my guy. That's fine. But, I don't know. Okay, sorry.
So
what do you...
No, that's fine. For me, it leaves it at a... Oh, boy. We're going to go with a 1.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you think, Sheep?
Even Paladin's back.
Oh,
Even Paladin is 100% back.
Okay, here we get the other side of it.
I can't quite go to a 5 with it. Like, don't get me wrong.
Oh, he's got her.
No, listen to this. Yeah, molten giant high roll.
Yeah, go ahead, Sheep. Let's hear it.
So we've got Argent Braggart. We've got what's the 4-mana Faceless Shambler. We've got the next card that we're going to talk about. Like, when do you feel bad about drawing Argent Braggart? Right? Like, whether the big minion is yours or your opponent's. Like, this is just a solid mid-range card no matter when you draw it. It's a solid mid-range card no matter when you play it. Like, yeah, you're not going to play it on 2, but like, you've got a 1-mana hero power that summons 1/1s. Like, you've got different ways to taunt up with the Faceless Shambler, with the 2-mana 2/3 that gives the other things taunt. That one, the neutral classic one. But Argent Braggart is one of the reasons why I think that even Paladin is going to be back, and it's going to be powerful. I can't quite say that this is completely busted because it doesn't have taunt out of the board or like out of the gate. But this is a 4-star card for me.
I had originally scored at that, and I can see when I did, I hadn't considered even Paladin. I mean, I do think that many times, like, this is a 2-mana 7/7 easy. Although the more we talk about it, it works differently than I thought. But I could see, this will definitely have a place in even Paladin. Well, that's pretty interesting. All right.
All right.
Last up.
So yeah, this is the last card of the Paladin review. Let me take a quick time out. I just want to do a quick shout out as one of the hosts of the show to say thank you to everybody watching live in Twitch chat right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is a great number, and not just for me. I'm pretty sure everybody hosting right now feels the same way. Thank you guys, regardless of what time of night it is for you. Appreciate you being here. So this one right here. Oh man, we got something special here. Okay, we have a 8-mana. You heard me. 8-mana legendary called Turalon the Tenured. Did I pronounce that right?
I think so, yeah.
Turalon the Tenured, 8-mana, no class, or no tribe. I'm sorry, no class. Paladin class. No tribe, 3 attack, 12 health. That's right, you heard me. It has the ability Rush. Whenever this attacks a minion, set the defender's attack and health to 3. So when this minion, Turalon, attacks another minion, no matter what the stats are on that minion, ability, doesn't matter. It gets changed to 3/3. So this right here can get pulled. I can see it on day 1 whether it's hour one or the first week, people playing dual Paladin. I can see this in a deck that Sheep just mentioned. This is the next card that he was alluding to, an even Paladin. I don't want to be too hyped, so I have to like bring myself down a little bit. But I'm giving this card easily a 4, no question.
Yeah, I absolutely love this. Here's my thought. Right, what else do we have that's 8 mana? Like if you compare this to Tyrion, I would play this over Tyrion any day. The rush makes it insane. It's got a giant butt. Instant spot removal. Like your opponent plays a Deathwing. Like, okay, this kills their Deathwing.
Bye.
Right? I mean,
See ya.
This is a 5 for me. I think this is absolutely nutty. I would play
Okay.
this. I would play this.
5
They coming out
stars!
big,
Yeah.
swinging.
This is the only other. I mean, I give that very seldomly. I think this is the only other one I did was that. Yeah, I don't know. I think that maybe, but has been Mark disagree with me. I don't know. I like this. I just think that this goes this goes in any sort of control deck. The rush makes it absolutely insane, and if with the health so big, like if this is a 3/3, okay, then we've got the same situation with that Demon Hunter rush silence thing. But when does it not kill something? If it has Divine Shield, okay. But I don't know. I love this card. Maybe I'm overhyping it, but I don't really see a downside. What do you think, Danny?
I think you're on the right vein with that. I'm a little bit more tempered. I think that this is a strong card. I think that Control Paladin has some options now. This can even be run as like as a bomb removal card. I'm going to give it a 4 just because Paladin needs something, and I think I've given all of the other cards 1s and 2s. I think this is a 4-star card. I think you guys have most of the points that I had there.
Yeah, I would slot this right into a Control Paladin deck for sure. I think it's amazing. Anytime somebody drops a big bomb, we'll see what the meta, I guess, is like. If you can make it to, turn 8 and destroy something really big. But in the end, no, this is a good card. Like, hands down, I really don't know anything bad to say except for can we make it to turn 8, right? But if you're a Control Pally, you're doing other things to make it to turn 8. So, 4 stars.
Oh my gosh. This is so, like, he's got tenure. He doesn't need to try this hard anymore. Yeah, Trallion is amazing. Like so amazing.
Oh no, Goldcraft.
Goldcraft. I don't know about that.
Shit.
But I mean, I'm definitely crafting him and playing him an even Paladin for sure. Like, can you imagine? Turn 10, opponent's got a giant on board. I play Trallion. I play the Argent Braggart. I've got an 8/12, and then Trallion attacks and makes his giant a 3/3 and kills it, and leaves behind a 3/9 and an 8/12.
Pardon me while I go barf.
But what? That's insane.
Yeah.
Now that's obviously as edge case. Like, when are you going to keep your Argent Braggart and Trallion until turn 10? But still, it's possible, right? I don't think that I can quite go to 5 stars just because, like, how powerful is that going to be? I think it's going to be very powerful. How powerful is that deck going to be? Probably pretty powerful, but 4.
Okay.
Going with 4. It's a solid 4.
All right.
Could it be a 5? Absolutely. But as it is, 4.
Sounds good.
All right.
We're on to Priest.
Priest. Let me do a color change. Let's see. Sorry, I mean, interrupt. My bad. Go ahead.
All good. Okay, first up is the Studies card for Priest. It is called Draconic Studies. It is a 1-mana common spell. Discover a dragon. Your next one costs 1 less. I know that we have been kind of crapping on a lot of these Studies cards so far. I actually like this one, and I will tell you guys why. I think I give it a 3, and the reason is that Reno Dragon Priest is definitely a thing. I think that we use it, like Danny was saying, as an innervate for the 1 mana reduction for your next dragon is helpful. But I think it also has late game. It has value ability if I'm going into a control matchup to generate me a late game dragon. It also has value and synergy with the Anduin Death Knight, where I'm playing a 1 mana spell that lets me ping your face. So I like it. I give it a 3.
I'm in the same vein as you, Nate, with that. I'm a little bit less optimistic as you are because there's a similar effect. Just discovering a dragon, you like Netherspite Historian's a thing, and it's a little bit cheaper. I do like this card though. I think I'm going to give it a 2. Just because of it being a 1-cost spell that you can ping with Raza, and then the innervate effect. Although you don't really, I'm just not a fan of Dragon Reno Paladin generally. That's one of the issues that I have, or excuse me, Reno Priest. I like playing the heal burn version of that list a lot better, but I think that's just a personal preference. So I'm gonna give it 2 stars.
Okay, Hydra, what do you think?
I see. I'm the opposite. I love the dragons. I've always loved the dragon priest thing. So for me, I'm gonna go up 1 on you. I'm gonna go up to 3 for this. I love the discover. I love the fact that I can ping your face with it, and I can keep going. To me, this is a good card. It's gonna be a 3 for me in Reno Dragon Priest.
So, judging by our rating scale, a 3 is playable, and a 4 is good. We'll see play. Judging by our rating scale, I think Draconic Studies has to be a 4.
Actually, you're right. Dang it.
It's okay.
Nate, give me a 4. We're going to 4.
All right.
Going up to 4? All right. Yeah, I mean, Draconic Studies just slots right into that already powerful archetype. You've got pings, you're discovering more dragons. That's versatile. You can decide what dragon you want, and then it or another dragon in your hand is cheaper. Like, am I going to play this? Not really. It's just not really my archetype, but I'm gonna hate seeing it on ladder, and I'm going to see it on ladder. So Draconic Studies is a 4-star card from me. What do you think, Mike?
All right, so I feel like it's playable. So based on the scale, that's a 3, correct?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna start at a 3, and not to make this review night forever. Discover a dragon. If I'm discovering a dragon and I'm ahead, I'm looking for some kind of value, so that's cool. But if I'm behind, like I am most of the time, I'm looking for Deathwing, so I'm already gonna lose. I get the next dragon. Yeah, I get the next dragon costs 1 less. But I just see this as a 1 mana spell to go towards my Raza. So I'll just leave this I'm going to put it at a 2.
I like it. I like that there's a lot of mixed feelings on this one. I'm definitely not the Reno Priest expert. And so I think you compare it to Renew, right? Where it's a 1 mana spell, discover a spell, heal 3. So it's interesting. It's interesting. I guess we'll see how this ends up. All right, I'm moving on.
Sorry, Nate. I don't want to cut you off. Memnarch had said something, but then when I look up a little bit, I see that Goku's here. So shout out real quick to Goku. I follow Goku. He follows me. Good people, and obviously he's like a wild legend. So I'm glad him and Memnarch are here. Appreciate y'all. Got some wild legends in the house.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Goku HS. What up, man?
Yeah, welcome. Okay, next card up is Frazzled Freshman. It's a 1 mana 1/4. Just vanilla card. I don't see this ever being played. At the very, very, very fringe, you could put it, I guess, in combo Inner Fire Priest, but I won't be doing that. I give it a 1. Danny?
Yeah, it would be Inner Fire if you saw this, and I don't think that you're really focusing on getting a 4/4 or an 8/8. Like the highest you could make this go, like this is too. I don't know. I don't like it for Inner Fire, although it does give you the board early. I think the Northshire Cleric option is just too good. This is the alternative. This is the Blizzard's printing this because they removed Northshire, so I think that's really why it's here. I'm giving this a 1.
Let me ask you a goofy question. Do you ever put this in the Spiteful? Like, I mean, I don't. It's a 1/4. I mean, I don't know. I don't like vanilla cards generally, but just out of curiosity.
I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not a big Spiteful player.
Me neither.
I haven't played Spiteful Priest in ages, but maybe if you're also running like Lady in White, I don't think that deck's gonna be.
It is so
Playable.
fringe. I think it's just bad, right? This is a vanilla card.
Yeah, I'm not gonna play this card. I mean, it's interesting against maybe like another aggro deck or something. If you're gonna try to make it bigger, extra, like what is it, Villain's Chosen or
Villain's Chosen, Extra Arms, one of those. But like,
next. I'm gonna say 2 because it is a 1 mana 1/4.
Whoa.
Okay, so it gets a 2 for having a lot of stats.
Yeah.
So
Hydralisk, you're gonna continue to be the outlier here because this is a 1-star card. If it had Northshire Cleric value, anything besides just stats, then maybe. But like, why would I play Frazzled Freshman? 1-star.
no, I really wouldn't. I'm just saying it has a lot of stats.
Yeah, it
That's
does
the
have a lot of
only reason
stats.
I went up by 1.
yeah, Mike.
I mean,
That's
that's it.
exactly where I'm like, you're an outlier for me. It's still 1. I see where you're coming from. I got to give it a 1 though. What do you think, Mike?
Yeah, so Hydralisk said something I was gonna say, so I won't piggyback off that. Also, Sheep said something I was gonna say. I will piggyback. Sorry, Hydra, you're the outlier. I gotta give this a 1 because if this card, it's a Frazzle Freshman. You know, maybe if you had retained or comprehended any knowledge you learned in one of your courses and you had an ability, that'd be cool. But it's just a 1/4 vanilla, so I'll give it a 1.
We have
I can't believe
to.
we made it through that whole thing without saying "wow" a single time.
Wow. I think and then everyone that's watching has to realize that it is now a little past 1:30 Eastern time, and that our judgment starts getting questionable this late at night. So,
Oh, not me. Hey, like I said, I'm waiting for 3 a.m. for the month to re-roll so I can climb ladder. So the more the time goes by, the more amped I get. Let's go.
good. All right.
There it is.
All right. Next up is spell. 2-mana spell. Power word Feast. Give a minion +2/+2. Restore it to full health at the end of this turn. So this is interesting to me. Before I get into the score, right? This seems like different spot or a decent spot removal because you buff the minion, use it to kill something. So right, you give your minion +2/+2, run it into something, and then at the end of the turn, it's back to full health. That being said, I don't know where the heck you would ever put it in anything, and I just don't see myself running it. I give it a 1, but like, God, I think that it I think it's cool. I like the idea. I don't see myself playing it.
Yeah. Did they revert
When
sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I was being goofy. When I hear Nate say something's cool, oh shit, I don't know.
Did they revert the mana cost of the spell that they had buffed for Inner Fire Priest? The
Divine
dual the twin spell card.
That's the extra arms one or whatever. Right?
Yeah. Did they
Oh.
rebuff? Did they nerf that back to 3, or is that at 2 still?
I think they did. Yeah.
I think it's
Yeah,
3.
they nerfed it back to 3.
Yeah.
So I mean, this is essentially the front half of what it was pre nerf for
Okay.
that. So I think that Inner Fire Priest was running it. I think the second copy of Extra Arms was what really pushed it over the top. But the ability to take the minion that you played on board, probably Northshire Cleric, give it +2/+2, was very impactful in that point. I think that Inner Fire in and of itself is a fringe deck. Not to say that it's a bad deck, but it is a fringe deck because no one plays it. I think that this is one of the issues that I have with Wild, where people just don't play certain decks like Inner Fire Priest, but that's not to say that the deck is bad. I'm going to give this card a 2 because it probably sees play in Inner Fire Priest, but I think that I think the other version of Inner Fire Priest, when you were running the Extra Arms, was better. But I think this is a better alternative for what we got now, as opposed to the 3-cost version of that.
Okay. I see where you're coming from on that. As someone who hasn't, I've played that deck when I've had to, but I don't see this being meta. And no, I don't really see it. I'm going on a 1 on this one. It's a really cool effect. 2/2 restored to full health, but it's not something that anybody is playing. So yeah, a 1 for me.
Okay, so hear me out. Even Priest. Yeah, your reaction is exactly why this is a 1-star card. Your turn, Mike.
I was like raising the people's eyebrows.
1 star.
Like, what
Keep
the
going.
hell?
1 star. 1 star. Continue.
Yep.
Oh, am I muted? I'm not muted.
No?
You're not muted.
Yeah.
Next,
Nate stepped away. Nate stepped away.
next
That's
card.
Oh,
okay.
Oh.
So the next
Cheers,
card
Cheers.
is
Streamer.
Initiation.
Sorry. There you go.
Oh, you're back. There you go.
Oh, he's back.
All right.
Human
Okay.
streamer.
My bad.
Power word piece. No worries.
Okay, next up is Initiation. This is a 6 mana rare spell. Deal 4 damage to a minion. If it kills it, summon a new copy. This is basically holy or water, right? I don't think that I will play this. Somebody's welcome to prove me wrong. I don't think that anyone was playing holy water, and I don't know. 6 mana seems like an awful lot for one to kill one thing and summon a copy when, you know, most of my priest AoE stuff is about this cost and will wipe the entire board. So, you know, I don't know. Like, I don't play it in Res Priest. I don't play it in I don't know. I don't really think I really play it in anything, but what about you guys?
So is that a 1?
I give it a 1, yeah.
Cool.
I'm going to agree with you on this. This is better than Holy Water because it summons the minion onto the board, but at 6 mana, like, there are a lot of things that you'd rather be doing, and I think that on 6 mana, I'd rather just completely clear the board, or, I mean, like, no one runs the single target 6 mana spells like in Tomb anymore. Those are just way too slow. I think this card is way too slow. 1 star.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with way too slow and unplayable in the wild meta for sure. 1 star.
Holy Fire died for this. Like, what? I would rather run Holy Fire than Initiation. I would rather run Holy Water than Initiation. Yeah, 1 star. What do you think, Mike?
I have the benefit of going last. I agree with everyone else. Next card.
That was easy. All right. Next up is Cabal Acolyte. It is a 4 mana 2/6 with Taunt. It has Spell Burst. Gain control of a random enemy minion with 2 or less attack. I found myself comparing this to Twilight Guardian as a 4 mana 2/6. Gain +1 attack and Taunt if you have a dragon. Personally, I like the dragon better. You know, taking control of a 2 attack minion with Spellburst seems okay, but I don't know where I run this. You know, I don't know. Like, do you play this in Arena Priest as a defensive card? Like, maybe? I'm not sure. I mean, I think that, you know, someone is welcome to prove me wrong. I mean, I guess you could slot it in somewhere, maybe. So, like, I'll give it a 2. I don't think it's bad, but, like, I really struggle to figure a place where I'd actually play it.
I think this is a very bad card, just because think about this, right? The game plan you're playing here is you play a 4-cost minion, and then what is the spell you're going to be playing on turn 5? You're going to be playing Mass Hysteria. So the spell burst, gaining control of a random enemy minion with 2 or less attack, doesn't matter because you're going to kill all the minions on the board. So what this needs to be, this is a turn 6 play where you play Cabal Acolyte and like a Penance or something. And I just think that is way too slow. I'd rather just play a 6 mana, just board clear in that instance.
So
I
is that a
think-
1?
Oh, yeah. What's your score, Denny?
I'm going to give it a 1.
1. Wow. I originally was higher on this card than I am currently. I think this is more of a standard card. I do think that against like Wild is extremely aggressive. I do think that like a 2/6 is good in an aggressive meta, and if you can play a spell, you can sort of Potion of Madness effect, take a guy, kill a guy. I'm not going to go with a 1. I don't think it's amazing. I think I'm going to upper to a 2 on this one because I do think it does have utility in an aggressive meta, and I think it's an okay card. So we'll go with 2. I don't think it's going to be in your every single meta deck or anything. So 2 for me.
Yeah, I think this counters Odd Demon Hunter.
Don't
Odd
forget the butt.
Paladin.
It's got a 6 butt,
Yeah,
right?
it's got a big old booty.
So
You guys.
Doesn't it though? But like, I don't know when I'm hard running, Cabal Acolyte, right?
Mhm.
A 4-mana 2/6 is good stats. It contests, and also if I'm Shadow Madnessing, or if I'm Pint-Sized Potion, or Potion, the 1-mana steal a 2, I can contest.
Madness.
Yeah, Potion Madness. Thank you. I can contest a whole lot of wide boards, even Shaman, most of the odd things. It's got utility, but I'm not sure exactly what's hard running it. So I'm going to go 2.
Okay. What do you think, Mike?
All right. So at first, I wasn't crazy about it, but I have the luxury of going last, and not just with ladder or THL. I have to give Memnar credit once again for being my coach here in these reviews. He made some pretty good points in chat.
Big
This
butt is the
card
technical term. That's the best
is
point.
Truly.
Shout out to Memnar, yeah.
right? It is the most technical you can be.
It is the most technical. You can combine this with Lazul's scheme. You can combine this with pint size potion. I like this a lot. At first, I was looking at this card and I was just like, I'm more tainted now because now I have been schooled by you guys, and I understand what spell burst actually does. One-time effect. But hey, Priest is already dirty enough, so this one-time steal could be vital. It could be a card they really need. It could be a card where it has a death rattle, loot hoarder. So I'll give this card, based on what it does, I'll give it a 3. As much as I don't like Spellburst, now that I'm fully educated in this Scholomance Academy, I'll give it a 3.
I definitely will be pissed when somebody uses this against me. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, easily.
Like, I got to
yeah.
plow through this 2/6, and you just took my thing.
Yeah.
So, all right. Here's the one that everybody has been waiting for.
Drum roll.
The class legendary Mindrender Illucia. So this is it's a 2-mana 1/3 with the battle cry. Swap hands and decks with your opponent until your next turn. I think this is like the Giga Nuts personally. I think it's combo disruption versus Quest Mage in particular, combo Druid in particular. I mean, we'll see what everybody else says. I mean, I think that you here the thing with this card is that you have to be really careful when you play it, right? Like your opponent does a juicy psych melon, cool. Play this card, try to burn their stuff. I don't know, or play one of their cards. I don't know. I mean, this is great against Quest Mage. Like, if you have it in hand, you sit and wait until they complete their quest and then you steal it. I think that it could be difficult to use. Like, let me ask you guys a question, right? If I'm playing Quest Mage seems like a no-brainer to me. I think if I'm playing against a Druid, right, and say they Juicy Cyclone or they've got a whole hand of 10 cards, and I play this, so now I've got 8 mana left. So what can I play of theirs that's going to disrupt them hard enough to not let them combo off the next turn? Because I don't have mana anymore. Is this when I struggle with this a little bit because Aviana costs 9, Kun costs 10, or Aviana's 10 now, right?
10.
So I don't have enough mana to play anything. I mean, I can try to really disrupt them. I think that if I can play this, I can innervate and combo off maybe if they've got it.
Burn the innervate.
Or you burn the innervate
because you burn the innervate so that they can't go and combo off. That's what the whole thing is. You play the innervates, you play the biology projects, you play the whatever the new old innervate is, the dual class card. You play all those cards,
right?
So they can't go off.
Yeah, no, that makes sense to me. I mean, I think that it's just this card is going to require some. It's not something that you just drop casually. Like, you wait until the time is right to do it, and then you have to really mess them up pretty hard. So play whatever is going to disrupt their combo the most, whether you're stealing their quest completion or you're using up all their generate a random spell. Who knows? You might get a couple free giants. I think I gave it a 5, frankly, but I think that this is one that you are really going to have to use your brain when you play it. So that's my take. What do you think, Danny?
I think this is a really good card, but I think that at a certain level, this card really showcases like skill in this game, because more or less when you're playing this, you're taking advantage of knowing the situation better than your opponent. Because if your opponent understands the situation and that you have this card, they're going to try to circumvent around it. They're going to, imagine you're playing against a shaman, or shaman's not a good example, but yeah, shaman with the coin. Shaman with the coin, they're playing Shutterwalk. You coin out their Shutterwalk and you get that on the board. That's fantastic. But you would have to know specifically for that situation, they have to have the coin, they have to have a Shutterwalk, right? You need to know everything in great detail in order to get this card going for a lot of these combo decks. So this is good combo disruption. But the other issue is, I think you can probably break most combos in the game by throwing away a combo piece somehow with this. The other thing you can use this card is against aggro, you can go through and inhibit their turn 3 play. Because you play this as a 1/3 on turn 2, and then you swap decks with your opponent. Because you're a control deck 99% of the time in Priest, they can't do anything on 3. They can't really screw around with your stuff, and then you've essentially stopped them from building up a board on turn 3. And you get to play any of their little drops as well. You have an extra 1 drop, you could play that as well. You get a little bit of advantage on the board. So I'm going to give this card a 5, but I think that I'm giving this card a 5 because I think that just generally you're going to find a time to play this. They do get a little bit of an advantage if late game, but if you're playing this is mostly going to be an Arena Priest, or a Big Priest, but by the time you're playing this card, you should be winning the game. Like, that's what it is. You win the game against anything that's not aggro. Against aggro, this is you can play it for like a body and then stop them a little bit. But I think this is a 5 cost. This is a 5-star card. This is probably my favorite legendary of the set.
Wow. Well, that's really interesting to hear because I was not thinking that.
I gave it a 5 also. I mean, I think it's insane.
I think it is really, really good. I wasn't going to give it a 5, but I feel like it's not a super proactive card, right? It seems it's a very control tool, right? It's quite specific as to what you're doing. And I wasn't going to give it a 5, but you guys are kind of convincing me it's a little better than I thought it was. But I'm not going to go that high. I think for me, it's more of a 3 because if we're going to go with our context, right, like a 5 is meta-defining. I don't know if this is going to be meta-defining, but hey, Togwaggle has done some things.
Well, we either say meta-defining or it's like broken good. I mean, I think where really you showcase this is there are certain matchups in Priest that were, or especially Arena Priest, that were like not winnable, right? You get like an Aviana Coon combo, you get Plate Break
Line
or the
Cracker.
line Cracker or one of those, and this is where you now have an out in those matches.
Yeah, but that's why I mean it's very specific, right? This could be dead in a lot of cases.
That's true. That's true.
Quick note that there's a slight difference between our rating system and the forum one. This one 5 is busted, and the forum it's meta defining. So
oh, gotcha. I think I mean, still. I think it's pretty interchangeable though.
Well, we're gonna go with. I'm not gonna go all the way to the 5. I'm gonna stop at the 4.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sheep, what do you think?
I'm crafting this gold. Day 1, it's definitely like y'all intimated a very skill testing card. One of those skills is playing against aggro. Against aggro, yeah, I can drop this on turn 2. One thing that we didn't touch on is that it actually keeps our opponent from drawing a card, right? Because on our opponent's next turn, they draw a card that's from our deck into our hand. And then whenever we switch back, they have we played a card on 2. We didn't draw one of their cards. They're drawing a card for us, and then we switch. So it's even better against aggro on turn 2 because it's denying them resources and keeping them from kind of developing even further. Outside of that, everything that y'all said was spot on. 5-star card for sure. What do you think, Mike?
Yeah, so going last, I have the misfortune of sounding like a piggybacker. So I do agree with all the good points everyone made here. I wish I had the funds and the dust to craft this golden day 1, but maybe I'll open it golden. I'll give this card a 4. When I saw this card, and I'm not kissing behind because 2 of the 3 people are here. When I saw this card, I thought of them. I'm just being for real. Memnarch, Goku, and Slizzle. A card like this is exactly what Danny said. Skill testing. High player cap. I feel like the new players to maybe somewhere near intermediate, they'll play this. They'll get some kicks and giggles like, oh, I got to swap my hand in the deck, got to mess with the guy. But when we look at, like, the people who play this format, and like their top level, Goku, Memnarch, like people like that, I like to be in Discords. I like to follow their Twitter and like follow their conversation and see like the way they think, how they play the game, how they approach it. So a card like this, I'm definitely gonna be, if I don't open it, crafting it, and then studying the best way to play it in different scenarios. Because THL is coming, mind you guys, for those who do play in the THL league series based format. Excuse me, because they gifted us a bundle, so I don't want to mess that up. But
please don't
give this card give it a 4 for me. I'm out. Give me a 4.
All right, that's
very nice.
That's what we got. That's Priest. So let's move on to the rogue cards, and Danny, I'm going to pass this over to you.
Right.
We will be starting rogue.
We have a rogue.
Hey, rogue.
card.
I'm gonna go black.
Yeah, there you go.
Let's get
Very
red.
nice. So we have Plagiarize, which is a secret for Rogue. So 2 mana, but the secret reads, at the end of your opponent's turn, add copies of the cards they played to your hand.
Ooh.
So this is very interesting in the aspect where you can literally copy your opponent's turn the next turn that that happens. So maybe this is more or less a mind games card for your opponent. Do they go short and not play their bomb? Do they go through and like do nothing, or do they just play their turn as normal and then hope that they have the advantage due to Hearthstone's effect that the person who goes first gets to attack? And I think that's one of the things. This is one of the things that, like, Rogue having a lot of the trickery spells, the new freeze spell, the sap spell, like all of those types of things really helps Plagiarize, because I think that Rogue has one of the best comeback mechanics in the game from being behind. So I think that being able to play your opponent's turn right after them is good, because you're going to be able to deal with a lot of their stuff as well. I like this card as a secret. I think it's better than most of the Rogue secrets. I don't think it's the best one. I think that Cheat Death is a pretty good one, just for a lot of value matchups and everything. But I'll give Plagiarize a 3, because more secret support is always better, because now all of a sudden you can play this as a tech card in a lot of these Rogue decks that are running secrets, and yeah, you'll just have a lot of options for that.
All right. I think that this card is super annoying. I think that it to play around it isn't very fun. I think that trying to figure out, what secret they have isn't going to be cool. But at the same time, if this card is meta, we're going to know that this card is there, right? So we can play around it a little easier. It's pretty neat. I don't know if it's going to become meta. I'm going to give it a 2 as maybe playable in Wild. I think it's a super fun card, and I do not look forward to seeing it on the ladder, if we do see it on the ladder, but it's a 2 for me.
Yeah, I'm really, really excited to play around with Plagiarize in Burgle Rogue. I'm really excited to play around with Plagiarize and any sort of kind of like tempo-based rogue. I'm going to play with Plagiarize. That deck is not going to be a meta deck. So unfortunately, I have to give this a 2. But I'm going to have a lot of fun playing this not very competitive card.
I like it.
What do you think, Mike?
Not to say the same thing I said earlier, but I literally will ride Sheep's words and pass everything he just said.
All right. Here's my thought on it. It's secret rogue is not really a thing at the moment. Like, so I struggle to figure out, where am I going to play this? Does it create a new archetype? Maybe. It's definitely, as far as rogue secrets go, I think it's one of the better ones. The secret, I think, at least to me, it seems like almost impossible to play around. Like, I can imagine, like, if I'm using this, there are so many times that I'm going to get somebody's Lotheb, Reno Jackson. I'm going to get a Zephyrs. But in that same regard, like, there's also going to be times when I get some dragon that has no synergy in my deck. I'm going to get some random demon that has no synergy in my deck. But I do think there are going to be times when it's going to mess people up pretty bad. I really like the rogue secret cards, like the if you have a secret in play then minions and stuff like that. I think that it will see play. And I think, like what Danny was saying, is this is pretty tricky to play around. Like, do you just YOLO and play anyways? Or do you try to play like your worst card? I don't know. But that being said, like if you're gonna combo off, you're gonna combo off and kill them. And if they get your combo the next turn, like you better make sure they're dead. Otherwise, they're gonna use it against you. I don't know. But this is what draw. What is it? You draw. You draw a couple cards maybe. So I don't know. I think. I'm giving it a 3 because I definitely think it's playable at 2 mana. I think it's definitely playable. Yeah. All right. I give it a 3.
Cool. That sounds good. Is everything good on your side, Nate? We heard you as a robot over here.
Oh yeah, it looks like the stream died real quick. I'm gonna relaunch it, but we're still recording just fine. So
okay, cool. As long as it's good on your end, because you're the one recording.
Yeah. What did Nate give Plagiarize?
I gave it a 3.
Cool.
Okay. All right, so we're moving on to the next minion here. We have Vulpera Toxin Blade, which is a 3-mana 3/3 with your weapon has +2 attack. Now, this is a very interesting card because the deck that you're going to want to slot this in is going to be Odd Rogue, right? So you're playing your dagger on turn 2, you'll go through, and then you will swing with the weapon, and it will have 4 attack the next turn, or you'll probably hold on to the dagger swing and then swing it on turn 3. So this is like an alternative to the Hedge Clan Thug. But you also have this. There are some other 3-drops that you are occasionally playing in that slot. I think that you can take those out and put this in because 2 extra attack on your already 2 damage daggers is kind of insane. In that situation, I think that this is probably going to see some fringe play. I'm going to give this a 2.
A 2, okay. Odd Rogue is not by any means at the top of the meta right now, but it is. I mean, whenever I do play it, it's been fine. I think this is better than a 2 for me. I think this is quite strong, and if I'm going to hit somebody in the face, I would like to give +2 attack. The problem is it's not meta. So it
that's my concern. That's why I'm giving it a 2. I normally would give it its power level like a 3, but because Odd Rogue is starting to decline in its power because Demon Hunter can just do so much better than all of that. Like if this is a Demon Hunter card, it'd be insane. But like even without the weapons in Demon Hunter, but
though this there's another card that does help this. I'm gonna step it up a little bit. This is gonna be a 3. This one's a 3. I love the power of Odd Rogue. I love Odd Rogue. It's not your basic aggro deck. There's a lot more to it. And this, I feel like, slots in. It's a 3. It's a 3+. If there was a 3+, this is a 3+ for me.
Sounds good.
This is so much a 3+ that for me, this is a 4.
Wow.
Yeah. I was so close.
Yeah. I hard agree with everything that you said, Hydralisk. Like, Vulpera Toxin Blade is a hard 4. It and the card that you were alluding to that we'll get to shortly are going to bring Odd Rogue back like whoa. One of the reasons, and hear me out, is that Vulpera Toxin Blade, your weapon has 2 attack. That's not a battle cry that gives your weapon +2 attack. As long as Toxin Blade is on the field, whatever weapon you have has +2 attack. So this transfers from a dagger to dagger. Like no matter what, as long as you have a weapon and Vulpera Toxin Blade on the board, it's got 2 more attack. That's incredible. Like what?
Actually, give me a 4.
You talked him into it.
So excited for Vulpera Toxin Blade. I am so excited for Odd Rogue. This is going to be incredible. Let's go.
On behalf of Trips, he's extremely excited for this card. Anyone was wondering.
By the way, Trips hit legend with Odd Rogue today.
Yeah, I've been hard pushing him on Odd Rogue. Yeah, no, I showed him this card and the other one, and he's like, "Oh, I am back. I am back. So
Wait,
we'll-
whoa. Trips is coming back?
Yeah,
We'll see.
Yes.
I mean,
I
we'll
hope we
we'll
can hope
see.
so.
But he hit legend like nobody even knew he's been playing Warcraft this whole time, and suddenly he just hit legend out of nowhere. So, hey,
All right, what do you think, Mike?
All right, so there's 4 rogue cards that I'm going to give a 4. Unfortunately, this is I'm sorry, 3 rogue cards that get a 4. This isn't one of them. This one, I'll give it a 3. I hear where everyone's coming from. I always played Odd Rogue in Wild until Slizzle told me to stop because Galakron came. And I literally haven't played Odd Rogue since last November because Slizzle tells me not to. So if there's a chance that Odd Rogue is coming back, I would love to be wrong, that my rating should be higher, but I can't go any higher than that.
Yeah. I think that Sheep made some really good points here. So when I reviewed it, here's my thought. This is not a battle cry. Normally what we see with weapons is some kind of battle cry that says, battle cry, give your weapon plus, whatever attack plus whatever whatever you call it, durability.
Yeah.
My brain was thinking health, but and so I think that this is good, right? My first thought was, hey, this looks like it goes in Odd Rogue. But it could, I don't know. I think that the sticking point for me on this card that makes it good is that this is just a static ability. Your weapon has +2. So if I'm Odd Rogue, right, my weapon is already a 2 attack all the time. So now it's a 4 attack. I break my weapon. I hero power again. Like my weapon still has +2 attack. So I think that makes it relatively strong. I am a very crappy rogue player. I mean, I have golden rogue, but like I struggle with it. I think this is a solid 3 for me. I can see and appreciate how you guys give it a 4. And so I am not quite there, but I definitely think that this is strong in the right deck. Even if you don't play it in Odd Rogue, like I could see someone plopping this in Kingsbane. I could see someone plopping this into like that Burgle deck where your weapon gains stats for your off cost cards. So I mean it's interesting. The interaction was it Spectra Cutlass? Yeah. So I give it a 3. Okay.
All right. On to the next one.
Yeah.
We have the Rogue Weapon. 3 mana, 1/4, self-sharpening sword. After your hero attacks, gain +1 attack. So, this is an interesting card, and this is one of the things that you always have to consider with Rogue, as its weapons are always a little bit weaker than the normal weapons for any other class, because you have the inherent dagger hero power. So due to the fact that you're hero powering already, you already have a potential weapon. The weapon's got to be strong. This weapon does a lot of damage. Over time, this does 10 damage over to whatever targets you want, and it gets better over time, which is really strong. So the issue you do have is that first swing is just going to be like a normal dagger swing, but your dagger kind of just gets better over time. I'm still not a giant fan. I see some benefits from this card, but I don't really see where I'd want to run this card. I don't see a deck that really pushes me in the direction that I want to continually get more and more damage. I'd rather just play a Kingsbane, buff that up, and then from there just like continue getting that back in my deck. So if I'm playing a weapon rogue, I'm going to be playing Kingsbane. So I'm going to give this card a 1.
okay. See, if there was a way you could play this earlier than turn 3, I feel like it would be great because you would be keeping up with the curve and you would be able to hit a minion, gain an attack. Hit a minion, gain an attack every single turn while still playing your cards. But the fact that it comes down on turn 3, I think it's too slow. I don't think we're going to see this being played at all, really, unless there's something super specific. I'd like if it came down earlier, yes, but I don't see it. This is a 1 for me.
Yeah, they're trying to push Weapon Rogue in standard, and this is a standard card pushing that archetype. It is a 1 for wild for sure. What do you think, Mike?
Oh yeah, this definitely gets a 1, just like its attack power. Here you go.
Yeah, I just think this is bad. I give it a 1. I don't like it.
Yep.
There we go. That was easy.
Cool. And on to another 1-star card, in my opinion, at least. We have Shifty Sophomore, which is a 4-mana 4/4. It is Stealth and Spell Burst. Add a combo card to your hand. The stat line is garbage. 4-mana 4/4 Stealth, notoriously bad. No one's running that. And adding a combo card to your hand, that's discover a random rogue card. There are a lot of bad combo cards. Yeah, I'm giving this a 1.
I agree. It's a standard stat line. It's actually less. It's not a Yeti. And you have to pay even more mana to get a benefit out of it. It doesn't do any good. So 1 mana for me. 1 mana, 1 star.
Yeah.
1 mana. Yeah, this should be 1 mana. It's so crappy.
If this was 1 mana, it'd be dope. But yeah, are you even playing this in standard? Like, there's a stealth.
Well, the thing is, they're doing a lot of stealthy stuff over there. So I don't know.
But are you spending 4 mana for a 4/4? Like, yeah, it's got stealth, but like, I'm gonna play a comma. Like the 5 mana 5/5 with stealth doesn't even get paid.
Well, don't forget Shaku. How much did Shaku cost?
3.
And,
Three.
3, and it was a 2/3.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it had more of an effect. Like, you actually got something from it.
Yeah, I know. We'll see. It's standard. Who cares?
Yeah, I don't even think that this gets played in standard. It definitely doesn't get played in wild. 1 for me. What do you think, Mike?
I think that 4 minus 3 is 1. So there's my rating. What you think, Nate?
I give it a 1 also. I think when I looked at this card, it seemed confusing to me. Like, it has some potential to generate value. The stealth seems okay. I have no clue where to play it. It frankly just doesn't seem good enough. It doesn't fit into any archetype at all. Like, I get that they're trying to do this class identity thing. But like, I don't think that the card is very good. I just give it a 1.
Yeah.
Cool.
This next
All right.
one, however,
Yeah, this one I don't think is a 1. I think this is, even though it cost 1, it probably shouldn't. Here we go. We have Secret Passage, the 1 mana rogue spell, which reads, replace your hand with 5 cards from your deck, swap them back next turn. This is bonkers. This is broken.
Yo.
This is on that list I was talking about of potential nerfs coming up. So this card is probably worth being nerfed. Just looking at this right now, because in essence it reads draw 5 cards for a turn, right? Where you get some emergency gas later on in the game. I mean, this just is mind-blowingly strong. Just because you top deck this, all of a sudden you can play 2 or 3 cards. You can get that out of the way. If you're looking for something specific, you can do it, and you can play anything from your hand that's already there beforehand too, which is very strong.
What's your rating on that, Danny?
I'm giving this a 5-star. This is probably the strongest epic there is in the set.
Wow. Yeah. See, you could play this to search for lethal, right? Like, obviously you're looking for, say, Eviscerates, your Leroy. Maybe you just want to find your Myras, right? And then you can just draw your whole friggin' deck. Like, this could get you so many outs, it's insane. I really do like it. I like it a lot. So I'm gonna drop a 5 too.
Yeah, this draws 5 cards. This gets 5 stars.
Yeah.
I honestly think that you run this over Myra's. Like that's the build that I'm going for. I'm running this over Myra's.
But I crafted Myra's in gold, sheep. What?
Running it. I will not make you. I'm not gonna run Myra's anymore. I'm gonna run Secret Passage. This card is busted. It's amazing. I can. I hope it doesn't get nerfed, but I'm crafting these gold. Period.
Nice.
Yeah. This mixed with Volpira Toxin Blade are putting Odd Rogue back on the map. 5 stars, easy. I could wax poetic about this all night, but we've already gone long enough. But I'm going to kick it over to Mike.
Yeah, so Sheep stole my line. I was gonna give it 5 based on the number of cards it draws. This card seems pretty sick. I have Golden Rogue pretty close to 1K, but a lot of those wins came from the early days where there was this deck called Miracle Rogue, where you would just pull wins out of nowhere. I would have loved this card in that deck. So this card gets 5 stars from me. I don't even main Rogue, but I'm easily playing whatever deck I make from this or whoever makes from this like 3 times a week. Like I just want to play this, find some eviscerates or find face damage, something. This seems nuts. 5.
Yeah,
5.
I scored this one a 5 as well. I think you guys are all saying Odd Rogue. Like, dude, I've put this in every single rogue deck from now until forever. Like, whether this is basically plot twist for rogue, but better for 1 mana. And like, I frankly, I don't see a downside to it. I mean, this gets you an out. Like, and this isn't necessarily like you can play some cards, and then you play this, and then you play some more cards. I mean, you can. It's so versatile. That like, and especially rogue as a combo oriented deck, right? You play this for 1, draw 5 cards. You can probably combo one of them. Like I see 0 downside to this. This is an easy 5 for me.
Yo, so if you have this in golden, when it replaces your hand with 5 cards from your deck, does it make those cards golden?
No,
I don't think so because they come from your deck. If it was creating them, then yes. But since it's from your deck, I don't think so. But I will try it out and I will let you know.
That's okay. I already have them all gold anyway.
I don't.
I was just curious.
I'll let you know.
I'm a dirty gold crafter.
And before we keep going, I would like to point this out as one of the few Harry Potter cards. This seems pretty cool. Secret Passage. I'm loving this theme right here, man. This whole set is A1. I'm loving it, man. Scholomance Academy.
All right. Legendary coming up here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The Infiltrator.
Take us away, Dan.
Did Nate go?
Yeah, I gave it a 5. This is
cool.
That card's
Cool.
bananas good. Yeah.
Nice. Nice. Cool. Yep. All right. So we will go on to Infiltrator Lillian, which is a 4-mana 4/2 stealth minion, and it has the death rattle. Summon a 4/2 Forsaken Lillian that attacks a random enemy. So this is an interesting card because it has it's stealth, and then whenever you run it into a minion and kill it off, there's 4 random damage that is done to either a minion or your opponent's face. So I don't know. This doesn't seem super impactful to me, just because you're playing this on 4 mana. It has to stick around, but if you kill it, the positive of this is if it gets board cleared, there's a 4/2 that's swinging immediately, even if it's on your opponent's turn. Yep. The thing that I would prefer if it was just attack a random enemy minion with that 4/2, because I don't want that 4/2. I want that 4/2 doing damage to a minion. Although no, attacking a random enemy is fine. Going face is probably fine in this situation. I retract that one there. I'm a little bit tired. I don't know. I'll give this a 2. I don't foresee this seeing play in anything, but it's a cool card, cool effect. Can't give it a 1.
All right. I think it's a cool card. Same thing. It's got stealth, right? So you get to... Usually you get to decide where this is going. You can trade it, and then it can 2 for 1 something. However, it's an even cost card in a Odd Rogue meta sort of thing. If Odd Rogue comes back, I don't think it's going to see play. It's not going to go in Kingsbane. There's going to have to be a different archetype. I think it's cool. I don't think it's playable. It's gonna definitely be a 2. This is a 2, almost a 1. 2, only because this thing can do 8 damage, right? Like, it's got 4, and then it's gonna attack something else. So it's a 2.
Like a phoenix from the ashes. Death Rattle Rogue is coming back, baby.
Okay. Talk to me.
This card. Okay, we've got Infiltrator Lillian. We've got Necrium Blade before swing, and then we play Lillian. Then we swing. We've got a 4/2 going face. We've got, of course, the Spellstone. We've got Necrium Vial. We have so many different like Death Rattle synergies that, including this into that package, still isn't going to get us there, but it's going to be a lot of fun.
I love the enthusiasm, and then it's like, but
if it's how I feel about this card, I'm going to give it like a 4. If it's how it actually is, it's a 2. Like,
yeah,
I love this card. It's going to be so much fun to not be meta. It's a 2. What do you think about it, Mike?
Yeah, so if we're going in a metasphere or a universe, and I'm looking on the outside, I'm definitely going to give this a 2. I'd love to say 3, but it's going in that build that you had stated, Necrium deck. Equip the weapon, play this, attack with the weapon, Death Rattle activates, or play this, Vial. Can you target your own stealth? Yeah, you can target your own stealth.
Yep.
Yeah, target your own, and then 2 4/2s come out. Hope it goes face. It probably won't because it's wild and it's just crazy over here.
Did we lose you, Mike?
You froze.
Oh no. Okay, well, he gave it a 2. I gave it a 2 also. I really wanted to give it a 3. Like, I kind of sheep agree with what you said in that it has a lot of flavor. God, like, thematically fits with this set really well. Reading the lore from Goliath like made me like this card even more. Like, this is the human form of Lillian Voss, which is really cool. Like, it's a neat effect, and I actually, like, I do enjoy how the Death Rattle can go face if there's no minions on board. I think I'm like cautiously optimistic, but like, I don't know where the heck I would play it aside from, like, there's no meta deck, unfortunately, that this goes in. It's not a pirate, it's not a, I don't know. Like, it goes, like Sheep said, it goes in a Death Rattle deck. I mean, if that can be good, cool. I mean, I was on the fence with like a 3. But at the end of the day, I think it's closer to a 2. So I'll give it a 2.
Yeah, I've got my gears turning with like a stealth Death Rattle hybrid with like, Skyvateer and a Kama and, the different stealth synergies like Greyheart Sage. It's going to be a fun deck, but it's not going to be a good deck.
Yeah. All right. Wow. Can you believe it, guys? We have been at this for 5 hours now. We still have 3 classes. And
Doesn't feel like it.
We've got 3 classes, all the neutrals,
and all the dual class.
Dual class.
So I'm gonna
Ready to go.
I'm gonna end this recording super quick, just super quick, and then just hit start on the next one, just so that we can break it up. It makes it a lot easier for me down the line. So this is the end of part 2 of our wild set review of Scholomance Academy.
I know that edit life. I feel you.